Hey, what's up you guys? If you're going to be towing a trailer with your Chrysler Pacifica, you're going to need trailer wiring. It's required by the law. Let's go ahead and break down that install. You'll need the tools seen here to complete this installation. So we're going to be installing the universal wiring kit onto this Chrysler Pacifica. Now we're going to attach to our vehicle's tail light harnesses. So we're going to start by opening up the hatch. So to remove our driver's side taillight, it's held in by two screws, one here and here. And we're going to use a T27 torque screw bit to remove those. Now our taillight is held in by two pins, one up here and one down here. Now we're just going to push back on it. Those pins can get kind of stuck, so you might have to tap it a little bit to get it out. Once we have it removed, our taillight harness is right here. We're just going to pull on the red tab till it unlocks, and then we'll push down on this gray tab, which will allow us to disconnect it. And then we'll set this aside. And we'll repeat on the passenger side. So to use a fishing technique, we're going to take a long and sturdy wire or any tubing, and we're going to route this through our bumper from the top. Now, like I said, there's not a lot of room right here, but there's an opening right here towards the outside of the bumper. Now we're just going to push that down. Now, as we get that started, we want to make sure that it faces towards the outside, since there's more room inside the bumper over there. If it angles towards the inside, it's more likely to get caught. But we'll go ahead and push it down all the way until it comes out right here at the bottom. Now with our fish wire in place, we're going to take the yellow, brown, and red wires from our universal kit, and we are going to tape it onto the fish wire. So before we pull our wires up, let's go ahead and talk about our box. Our box is going to go right into the bumper support, and since there's not a whole lot of room, it's going to get stuck right about here. Now, to make sure we don't lose our other wires coming out of the box inside the bumper where we can't get to it easily, we're going to extend our black wire and attach our power wire now before we pull it up all the way. So instead of the power wire that comes with our kit, we're going to be using our U-Haul exclusive power wire. This comes with a protective loom to keep it safe from the elements while it's underneath your vehicle. So we're just going to go ahead and attach that using a heat shrink butt connector. So we're going to let all the rest of our wires dangle down, and we're going to pull up our red, brown, and yellow wire through our bumper support. And we're going to need to make sure that we guide our box up as we pull it up, as this is going to get caught on a lot of places. With our box in the bumper and our wires pulled up, you can see that there's not a whole lot of room left for our black wire, which is why we connected it earlier. Now underneath our vehicle, we're going to ground our white wire with the ring terminal. We're just going to go right here next to our frame. And we'll use the provided self-tapping screw and 1/4 inch socket. Now we're going to take our green wire, we're going to route it underneath our bumper over to our passenger side taillight. Now we noticed that our green wire is just a bit too short, so we're going to need to extend it to give us the proper length. So we went ahead and cut out another longer green wire, and we're going to connect these two using a heat shrink butt connector. With our wire extended, now we're going to route it to our passenger side taillight, following behind the bumper support. Now we're going to do our fish wiring technique on our passenger side bumper, just like we did on the driver's side, to pull our green wire all the way up. Now, starting on the driver's side, we're going to check our taillight harness for all of its functions. We're going to check for the left turn signal, running lights, and the brake. And then we'll do the same on the driver's side, but just for the right turn signal. We're going to use a circuit tester to check the harness itself. After testing our functions on our vehicle, we found that our turn signal and our brake signal share the same wire on our vehicle, which means we will only be using the yellow wire and we will be grounding the red wire from our wiring kit. So we're just going to go ahead and attach a ring terminal to the end of it. Then, using a 1/4-inch socket and a self-tapping screw, we're going to ground it right behind the taillight. So a little bit further down, we're going to remove the tape from our wiring harness to get access to our wires. And now that we have access to our wires, we're going to connect our yellow wire to the wire on our harness that had the left turn signal and brake function. And we're going to go ahead and use a Scotch lock to do that. And we'll use some pliers to crimp it down. Now we'll make sure that it went all the way through. Now we're going to connect our brown wire to the wire on our harness that had our running lights. On the passenger side, now we're going to connect our green wire to the wire that has the right turn signal. With our wires hooked up, we're ready to reattach both of our taillights. With all of our wires hooked up, now we're ready to run our power wire underneath our vehicle all the way up to the engine compartment to hook up to our battery. Now, we want to make sure we stay away from anything hot or moving that can damage our wire. Our safest route is to stay by the driver's side. We're going to go over these 3 cross members. And once we get over there, we'll be able to follow our brake lines all the way down underneath this underbody panel, all the way up to the engine compartment. Now that we've reached the underbody panel, we're going to go ahead and put some zip ties on to keep our wire in place. Now we're going to need to lower the side of this underbody panel to put our wiring underneath it. It's held in by 5 nuts that we'll be removing using a 10mm socket. With our wiring underneath our panel, we're going to go ahead and reinstall it. Now that we've reached underneath our engine compartment, we're going to push our wire up following the brake lines to reach the battery. So our power wire is going to come up right here next to our brake reservoir, so we're just going to pull it all the way. Now we're going to route our wire over here to the driver's side, and we're going to bring it over here to our fuse box. We're going to hook it up to this instead of our battery. We're just going to pop off the top, and we have this terminal right here that we'll gain access to. So we're going to take off that nut using a 10mm socket. Now we're going to attach our fuse holder to our power wire. With our U-Haul exclusive power wire, all we have to do is plug it in. Now we'll attach our ring to our terminal. Now we're going to insert the provided 15-amp fuse, and then we'll put our cap on. So we have some extra slack, so we're going to zip tie it up here to these extra looms. With our wiring powered up and hooked up, now we need to secure it. We don't want to have it hanging on the hitch because if it comes loose, it could drag down on the ground and get damaged. So we're going to be using a 4-flat mounting bracket. This is not included with your kit, but you can pick one up at your closest U-Haul store or at uhaul.com. Now our hitch that we ordered from Drawtite has a mounting plate already welded onto it, so we're going to use this to install our mounting bracket. We're just going to line it up with the holes, and we'll secure it with the provided nut, and then we'll repeat on the other hole. And then we'll use a 10mm socket to tighten it down. Now we're going to take our 4-flat and we're going to slide the dust cover over it. And then we'll pull it through our bracket. And then we'll secure it with our dust cover. And then we're going to clean up our extra wires. We're going to zip tie it behind our bumper support. So with our wiring powered up and secured, you're ready to tow a trailer. Thank you for watching our video. If you have any questions about this product, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with a U-Haul Hitch professional, you can visit your closest U-Haul Hitch center, or you can visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. Thank you.